Have you ever wondered if getting smarter is something you're just born with? Like some people just wake up naturally gifted, while the rest of us are stuck playing catch-up? If you've ever felt like intelligence is this big, complicated thing, something you either have or you don't, I've got great news for you. Getting smarter is easier than you think. I'm not talking about spending years memorizing random facts or solving equations for fun. I'm talking about real, practical ways to train your brain to think sharper, learn faster, and actually retain what you learn. Because intelligence isn't something you're stuck with. It's something you build. And once you understand how, it's almost like a superpower. So why does it feel so hard sometimes? Why do some people seem to pick up new skills effortlessly while others struggle? It all comes down to how you use your brain. The way you approach learning, problem solving, and even daily habits has a huge impact on how smart you actually become. And the best part? Small changes can make a massive difference. Let's start with one of the biggest secrets about getting smarter. Your brain is like a muscle. Think about it. If you go to the gym and lift weights regularly, your muscles grow stronger, right? Your brain works the exact same way. The more you challenge it, the more it adapts, rewires, and strengthens. But here's the mistake most people make. They try to learn the hard way. They push themselves to cram information, force themselves through boring study sessions, and then wonder why nothing sticks. But getting smarter isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. And the easiest way to do that? Curiosity. Think about a time when you were genuinely curious about something. Maybe a hobby, a new show, a mystery you just had to solve. You probably devoured information without even realizing it. That's because your brain learns best when it's engaged. When something feels fun or interesting, your brain forms stronger connections, making it easier to remember and apply what you've learned. So here's the first step to getting smarter. Stop forcing yourself to learn in ways that feel like a chore. Instead, find a way to make it interesting. If you're learning a new language, don't just memorize vocabulary. Watch movies, listen to music, try chatting with native speakers. If you want to understand history, don't just read a textbook. Watch documentaries, dive into stories, or explore podcasts. The key is to connect learning with something that excites you. Because once you make learning enjoyable, you don't have to force yourself to do it. You'll naturally want to dig deeper, absorb more, and actually remember what you learn. And curiosity isn't just about learning facts, it's about asking better questions. Smart people aren't just the ones who have all the answers. They're the ones who ask the right questions. Instead of passively accepting information, they challenge it. They wonder why things work, not just how. They connect ideas instead of just memorizing them. So here's a challenge for you. The next time you learn something new, don't just take it at face value. Ask yourself, why is this true? How does it connect to what I already know? What's missing? This simple shift forces your brain to think deeper and actually process information instead of just storing it temporarily. Now, once you start training your brain to be more curious, there's another powerful habit that makes a huge difference in how smart you become. And it's something incredibly simple, but most people completely overlook it. I'll dive into that in the next section. But for now, think about this. What's one topic you've always been curious about? Something you want to learn, but maybe haven't explored yet? Because if you start there, learning won't just be easier, it'll be fun. And when something is fun, your brain works 10 times better. Now that we've established how curiosity can make learning feel less like a chore and more like a discovery, let's dive into another crucial aspect of getting smarter: consistency. It's easy to look at someone who seems like they're effortlessly smart and assume they've got some secret sauce, something magical that you don't have. But here's the truth. Getting smarter isn't about having a special gift. It's about consistency. It's about showing up day in and day out and doing the little things that add up over time. Think of it like building muscle. If you go to the gym once a month, you're not going to get in shape. But if you show up regularly, even for just 15 or 20 minutes a day, you'll start to notice real change. The same applies to your brain. Small, consistent efforts, reading a page, solving a problem, practicing a new skill, compound over time. And before you know it, you're sharper, quicker, and more confident in your ability to learn. So here's the second key to getting smarter: Make learning a daily habit. It doesn't matter how little time you have. Just make sure you're doing something every day. This doesn't mean you have to sit down for hours to study, though that's great if you can. It could be as simple as reading a chapter of a book during your lunch break, solving a quick brain teaser before bed, or listening to a podcast while you're commuting. These tiny habits will slowly but surely train your brain to function better and absorb more. Over time, you'll notice that tasks that once seemed challenging will feel more natural to you because your brain has built up that muscle of learning. But here's the secret most people miss. It's not just about learning more stuff, it's about learning how to learn better. This is where the power of metacognition comes in. Metacognition is simply thinking about how you think. It's a fancy term, but in practice, it's all about being aware of your learning process and optimizing it. For example, do you know the best time of day for you to learn new information? Are you more focused in the morning, or do you do your best thinking at night? If you know when your brain is most alert, you can schedule your learning sessions accordingly, making your time more effective. Another example of metacognition is evaluating your learning methods. Do you prefer reading to understand something, or do you learn best by doing? Some people retain information better by writing things down, while others might learn better through visuals or hands-on practice. Understanding your own learning style allows you to tweak your approach to be more effective. And let's not forget about the power of feedback. When you're learning something new, get feedback from others, whether that's a teacher, a mentor, or even a peer. Feedback helps you identify where you might be going wrong and gives you the chance to adjust. Without it, you might waste time spinning your wheels, thinking you're on the right track when you're not. Now let me ask you something. When's the last time you reflected on your learning process? How do you typically approach new information? Are there any habits or patterns that could be holding you back? Being aware of how you learn can massively speed up your progress. But there's one more piece of the puzzle I want to dive into, and it's probably the most important factor of all when it comes to getting smarter. The mindset shift. You can have all the curiosity and consistency in the world, but if you don't believe that getting smarter is possible for you, you'll keep hitting roadblocks. And the tricky thing is, a lot of us don't even realize we've adopted limiting beliefs about our own intelligence. Here's what I mean. When you tell yourself, "I'm just not good at math," or "I could never learn a new language," you're putting up an invisible wall that makes it harder to learn. The reality is, intelligence isn't fixed. It's malleable. The brain is incredibly adaptable, and with the right strategies and mindset, you can improve at anything you set your mind to. So, here's the takeaway. Embrace a growth mindset. Instead of thinking that your intelligence is set in stone, remind yourself that you can grow and improve. Every challenge you face is just an opportunity to learn. Mistakes? They're not failures. They're feedback. It might sound a bit cliche, but it's absolutely true. You are what you believe. If you believe that you can get smarter, you'll start seeing evidence of it all around you. And once you adopt that mindset, the process of learning becomes a lot more exciting and less daunting. So let's recap what we've learned so far. Getting smarter starts with curiosity, which makes learning feel engaging instead of like a chore. Then we build consistency into our lives because the small daily habits are what add up over time. And we don't forget to reflect on our learning process and adjust accordingly. Finally, we wrap it all up by embracing the idea that intelligence is not fixed. It's something we can continuously grow with the right mindset. But I'm not done yet. In the next part, we're going to talk about the strategies you can use right now to supercharge your learning and boost your intelligence even further. You're going to love it because getting smarter is honestly easier than you think once you start using these strategies. Stick with me. Now that you've got the mindset, the curiosity, and the consistency, let's talk about the practical strategies that will truly take your learning to the next level. These are the techniques that will help you make the most of every minute you spend trying to get smarter. And trust me, once you start using them, it'll be like flipping a switch. Let's start with something I like to call spaced repetition. It sounds fancy, but it's actually ridiculously simple, and it works wonders for retaining information. You see, most people try to cram a ton of information all at once, thinking that if they can just get through it, they'll remember it. But that's not how our brains work. To wrap things up, getting smarter isn't about being perfect or having some hidden talent. It's about showing up every day, staying curious, and using the right strategies. Remember, small, consistent efforts add up over time. Whether it's reading a little each day, using spaced repetition, or teaching what you've learned, every step you take brings you closer to becoming sharper and more knowledgeable. So what's one thing you can do today to get smarter tomorrow? Share it in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on learning and growth. Getting smarter is easier than you think, and the best part? You can start right now. Keep learning, keep growing. You've got this.